Here is a simple requested illustration on how to achieve this stylish flay backless dress with loop at the front or lacing at the front. So if this is something you like, kindly hit on the subscribe button. Doing it in form of an illustration, right? Now to cut the front part of this dress, you'll be cutting it in form of an A-line or flay dress. Now you'll be using a 180-degree flay. The first thing you do is to go ahead to fold your fabric this way in a triangular form. Now because this dress is very long, even if I want to draft it on an actual paper, I have to like join it. If you want to like cut this on your main ankara, you have to like fold it not the way that has 45 inches, the other lengthwise, right? So you're going to fold it this way. Now after folding it, the first thing you want to do is to go ahead to find where you have your bust circumference divided by 4 plus extra half to 1 inch, right? So now let's say that the bust measurement I'm working with is bust. Say the bust I'm working with is bust I'm working with. If you divide it by 4 plus extra half, you have 4 inches, right? So remember, I'm cutting this in form of an illustration. Now when you're placing your tape, you do not want to place it this way. If you place it this way, you end up having like a V neckline. Now tilt it up as if you're taking it up this way. When you get that point, you're going to draw out a straight line, which is your bust measurement divided by 4 plus extra half inch. Now this line, you'll be taking it as your bust and also your chest line, right? Now the next step you need to take is to place your tape on that point, which is your bust point. So now let's say this dress you are making, the shoulder to bust we are working with is 5 inches. Remember, this thing is an illustration. So let's say the bust point you're working with, your shoulder to bust point is 5 inches. Now place your tape and get to the upper part, that is your shoulder to bust is 5 inches. Now I'll go ahead to mark where I have my shoulder measurement. Now the next step you need to take is to mark your basic neckline. So you mark out 3 inches. Let's say this is 3 inches by 3 inches. Please remember we're doing this in form of an illustration because of the size of the dress. Now after marking that 3 inches, I'm going to come out here by half inch, right? So what I'll do is, this is my bust measurement divided by 4 plus half. Now the next step is to get your waist measurement. So place your tape at that your shoulder to bust and mark your waist. You don't need your under bust. This dress you don't need an under bust. So let's say my waistline is 8.5. So I'll place my tape and I'll mark that 8.5. See how I'm placing it to mark, right? So I'll go ahead to mark this. Here is my waistline. Now on your waistline, so let's say the waist measurement, my waist measurement divided by 4, let's say plus extra half inch will give me 4.5 inches. I will mark. Now what I'll do is I'll connect from this shoulder point all the way to my bust point. Now from this my bust point, I'm going to connect to this point. Now if I want to connect, I'll come in by half inch here a bit and connect. So this half inch I have here now will be serving as the joining allowance to my dress. Now for the front, we have a deep neckline. So measure how deep you want this to be. If you notice, it cuts across the bust line. Then you now place your ruler, connect. You know, when you connect your neckline, you go down a bit because it's slightly below the bust. So remember, you'll be making loops that you'll be adding to this part, right? Now from this part, now what you do is just to go ahead to take this down to the full wideness of this dress. Then I'll go ahead to cut out. Now at this bust point, you'll be attaching a little strap there that will be that you'll be tying at the back of the dress. You can go ahead to blend in the bust a bit, right? Then I'll go ahead to cut out. So I forgot to take the length of this dress, so let me just cut out this side. Now for the length of this dress, what you do is to place your tape at the shoulder and take the length. So let's say the length we are working with is length 20 and half. So you're going to place at the upper part and mark that 20 and half all the way around your pattern. Then go ahead to connect it. Then let me open this up. Now this is what you have. So this 1/2 inch here, you're going to use it to attach your dress to the back. So that's why I left that 1/2 inch out. You use it to attach it towards the waistline. Now if you want the waistline to be slightly high, you can come up by your waistline, or you can maintain your waistline. So what I'll do is I cut out these little straps, this little pattern. All you do is to attach, make a strap and attach to it. And then towards the bust, you're going to make like a strap also, and you'll be attaching it to that part at the back. So let me just cut out the 2 pattern paper. So towards the bust area, you're going to be attaching this so that you can tie it up at the back of your dress. So this is what you have. Then you tie this at the back, tie this at the neckline. Now you're now going to like make loops at this side of your dress. You're going to make loops at this side, which you're going to pass thread through, and you're going to like create this crisscross effect on the front part of your dress. So let me use a tape to do that also, so that you understand, or probably to look like what we have. Then right, so you're going to create that crisscross effect to get all the way down. Now let's cut the back pattern. For the back pattern, you notice that at the back we have like an elastic at the waistline, and the back is fuller. So all you have to do is to go ahead to cut this out. After cutting this out, you place it on fold. Now you get your material for the back. So let me get another pattern paper. So let's say this is what we are using for the back. You place. So what you do is you can mark extra 10 inches, 5 to 10 inches here, right? If you add extra 10 inches, if you open it, you'll be having extra 20. If you add extra 5 inches, if you open it, you'll be having extra, if you add 5 inches, you have extra 10 inches. If you add 10 inches, you have extra 5 inches. So what you do is, let's say I'm using 5 inches because this is a pattern. I'll just mark that 5 inches at the front. Then I'll place my pattern on it this way. Then I'll go ahead to trace this out. So when you trace it out, take this measurement you have here, and that is what you place at this front part, and then you connect. Now when you're cutting also, remember that you'll be adding extra 1 inch or 1.5 to create your elastic channel for the back. To pass your elastic, you're going to go ahead to fold the upper part past the elastic before joining it to the waistline of the back of the dress. So when you now gather it, when the elastic gathers the waistline, the back of the dress will be fuller than that of the front.